Welcome back to class. In the previous section, we talked about how to receive payment, and I threw some lights on the recording deposits. Now, this is very important because QuickBooks do not automatically track or this record transactions directly to bank, even regardless of the payment method. Because in one account, you may realize that in one business we are using 2 to 3 business accounts. So QuickBooks cannot automatically say, okay, this payment was received via this account, this payment was received. So the only thing you will have to do is, while receiving the payment, you will indicate whether it's a direct transfer or it is a check payment or it's a cash payment. So after all this is done, now all the received cash or the cash payments or cleared transaction, what I mean by cleared transaction are those that have been paid for, not those that have not been paid for. So the money received, now QuickBooks is going to do something. It's going to accumulate everything on this tab here, which is the bank tab. Under the bank section, we have the record deposit tab. Now, what is the record deposit tab? Record the deposits of one or more customer payment to your bank account. So that is basically what we are going to be doing here. Now, this is also important to note that if you did not do this, and at the end of the day you got your bank statement from your bank and you want to do reconciliation, you find a lot of discrepancies. I'm not saying that there won't be discrepancies in your bank statement. Of course, that is the essence of reconciliation. Sometimes you have discrepancies, but let it not be much, because if it is much, it assumes that you don't know what you're doing. That is why you have this much discrepancies. Let the discrepancy be like the discrepancy should be a form of the discrepancies that are coming from the bank charges. That's bank charges and other payments that you made, which you acknowledge at your own end that this payment has been made, but QuickBooks haven't, but the bank have not yet maybe treated that transaction to reflect where it's supposed to reflect. So we're going to see that in our milestone project or our custom project that we're going to be using. You see a kind of a transaction where the transaction has been recorded in QuickBooks, but bank have not captured it. So the essence of reconciliation is to reconcile what is in your bank account and the proceed or the transactions that happen or the records you have in your QuickBooks. That is the essence of the bank reconciliation. So we are going to be doing that in our custom project, and also here we are going to be doing we are going to talk about a little bit of bank reconciliation. But we are not going to do the practical bank reconciliation here because it will not make sense, because I don't have any prepared bank statement on ground, but we are going to do that using our capstone project. And just to inform you, our capstone project is actually from the University of Maryland, United States. It's a project for master's degree program, and it is a practical project that after we are done with that, you are sure that you understand QuickBooks and you can do any transaction with QuickBooks. So I'm going to be doing that. We're going to be using that capstone project. That's one of the projects we're going to be doing. Is for a startup. We're going to see how to integrate QuickBooks for an already existing business, and how to set up for a new startup that has not used any application before. I'm going to see how to set up the chart of account. I think the capstone project on the University of Maryland is also has something like that. So we're going to use that capstone project as well, and we're going to see how we're going to develop our own chart of account and how to improve, how to implement it in QuickBooks. So without wasting much of our time, so if you want to do that, if you want to record this transaction now, so under the banking, you can see that everything that is under the banking, we have the record deposit, we have the reconcile, we have the write check, we have the check register, and we have the print check. So all these are the things you can find in the bank statement. Few of the things you can find in the banking section, but if you are looking for more, you can come to the banking section. You can see we have more. We have the bank fees, we have the loan manager, we have other things. So these are things you can actually see under the menu bar in the bank section. So if you don't want to use this place, this record bank deposit on the desktop, you can actually come to the bank, or if you did not see, you can come to the banking section on the menu bar. You can see make deposits. So make deposit, record deposit is still the same language. So these are the 3 payments we received earlier on. So here we are going to now select which of the payment we want to record. Now you should be very, very careful here. If this payment entered individual accounts, like let's say this payment, we have 2 banking accounts, 2 bank accounts, and this payment enter one of the bank account and this one enter one of the bank accounts too. So you can say, okay, let me, if you have 2 banks account in your system, in your QuickBooks, reconciliation will be done individually. You cannot do reconciliation and the 2 bank account at once. You have to do the reconciliation individually on individual bank account. I will tell you more when we get there. So if this is the case, so let's say I don't want to stress myself doing reconciling this and going back to do this, something using journals here and there to make sure that my account balance. No. So what I will do is, okay, I know that this payment like this is for a particular bank account, and I know that this one too is a particular bank account, or is in the same bank account. I can select the both. Let's say I select the both like this and I click okay. Now it will open up this place like this for me. You can see it's now giving me the opportunity. Where do you want to deposit this in? Deposit to. Now you can see that we have PalmPay, we have Zenith Bank. So if I click Zenith Bank, now this thing, QuickBooks default to, we resort to defaulting this setting to a default setting. We will just click OK. It doesn't matter, we can still change it anytime we want to change it. So once you do that, you select the bank account. When are you depositing the money? When was the money deposited? The date is actually very, very important in every accounting transaction, because if you don't match the date of the transaction with the date the transaction is actually with the date the payment is actually deposited, and the date of the deposit and the date the money is actually deposited, it will cause problem. Let's say a payment is made in October and you're recording it in November. It's going to be difficult to reconcile, because you are going to have a lot of discrepancies because the date does not match, and you are reconciling for October but the payment you deposited the money in November. It's going to be very, very difficult. Very, very difficult. So date is actually very, very important. So you can put the memo deposits, anything like that. You can just add memo here. You can say this payment is from this person, this payment is from this person, or this payment is for this item and this payment is for this item. So once you do that, the next thing you're going to do is to click either save and close. Of course you should be aware of this by now. Either save and close or save and new. So save and close means save and close this tab, and save and new means save and open another tab. So let's go with save and close because we still have a deposit to make. So this one we record in the Zenith Bank account, right? Yeah, this is Zenith Bank. Then the other payment is going to be on the PalmPay account. So once you do that, you can see that it opens another deposit payment to deposit tab again. So we now say, okay, this one is going to our PalmPay. Check it, then click OK. When you click OK, you now change the account to the account you want to make the deposit. So you can just put memo and whatever. Then since this is the end of our transaction, our deposit here, we're going to say okay, save and close. Remember, date is very, very important. Don't forget that. Now what happens if you have a pool of, let's say in the day you're having let's say over 50 transactions at the go, and that's mean the deposit count is over 50 transactions at the go. Of course you don't have the time to be picking the one after the other and between recording this one is going to this account, this one is going to this account, this one is going to this account. We don't have that time, we don't have that luxury time. So you can just choose to record everything at once in one bank account. Then later you use journal. Yes, you use journal to say, okay, this payment going to this bank account, this is the total payment. Because what you're going to be doing in journal now is you're going to be taking the totals. You're not going to be taking the individual payment, you're going to be taking the totals. So when you come to QuickBooks reconciliation, of course you see that differences, but in the total you see that the total differences, the total balances is actually going to be the same. that is not a problem, because you know what happens there and you can explain it. So that is another way to record it. And on that note, we are done with how to record deposits on QuickBooks. How to record deposits on QuickBooks. So in our next section, we are going to look at how to enter bills. So this one has to do with expenses. So we're going to look at how to manage our expenses. That is how to track our expenses, enter bills and receive bills, and pay bills. So this is going to be done under the vendors section. So that is what we are going to be looking at in our next section. See you in class.